Hello, Tere. We continue to talk and discuss about films selected for 26th Black Nights Film Festival here in Tallinn. I'm one of the programmers at Edvinas, but I'm also curator of a Baltic film competition. And this year, things happened in this way, but in Baltic competition we have two films shot in one take, in one single take. And one of these films is called Minsk. It is directed by Boris Guts, who cannot be tonight with us, but Minsk wonderfully represented by one of producers, Vitali Shkliarov. Welcome to Tallinn, Vitali.
Thank you.
And of course, film is so fascinating, but my first question is for you. Why Minsk? Why Boris decided to do a film about Minsk?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having us and for selecting the movie. It's been a big honor to be here, and we have a very close relation to Estonia. A movie was produced here, so we got a lot of institutional support and grant from Estonian government and film industry. So it's hasn't been possible to do it without you guys. So thank you so much, and it's an honor to be here. Boris, I believe, is not the only person who couldn't be left with no particular strong emotions in this summer 2020 when those brutal protests in Minsk happened. He says sometimes that he's half Belarusian, but being half Belarusian doesn't mean you want to do a movie that is very political, that brings a lot of danger with it, and it's a movie about very sensitive topics. So I believe what happened in 2020 in August in Belarus, and later on, I just recall a couple of numbers. It's been by now over 1,400 political prisoners, and the amount is growing. It's been over 40,000 people that went through jail. Just imagine 40,000 people. This is the size of a city. So this was a very traumatic experience for not just for some people, but for the whole Belarusian nation. And I believe we will see a lot of movies about it. I believe we will see a lot of books and dissertations about it. We will see a lot of reflection and poetry about it, like we've seen a lot of work about genocide. What did happen in Belarus was a genocide against Belarusian people that started 2020 and continues right now with the war in Ukraine.
Yeah. And I myself, I saw several films which were shot during protest movements in Minsk. Some filmmakers even got away from Minsk as fast as possible, not to be catched, because it was very dangerous. Some of them were shooting at homes and used footages later to edit somewhere in Warsaw or in exile. And of course, we understand that it was impossible to shoot what Boris has written in Minsk.
Yeah, we tried also on the beginning. He tried. I wasn't involved at this time point. I was in jail. He tried to produce it in Russia back then, but he was kicked out, and obviously the movie was forbidden in Belarus and in Russia way before it was ready. So there was a couple of leaks. Even a particular meeting between the foreign minister, Secretary of State of Russia, Lavrov, and Makeyev from Belarus. And one of leaked documents, this was very good promo for a movie. Even before it was ready produced, one of the leaked documents showed that they discussed in this meeting in Kremlin to forbid the movie because it brings a national security danger, and I couldn't believe my eyes that the guys are so afraid of our movie that they on the highest level, they discuss it on the highest level of one of the political agendas.
So you think what Mr. Lukashenko, not Mr. but Lukashenko knew about this film?
I believe the ex-president of Belarus knows quite a lot. I believe someone in his position who is paranoidally afraid of a coup, of a Hague and court, and someone who is that much afraid of his own life, and that someone who's done so much evil towards people, innocent people, and international community. I believe that kind of person is manically, like literally daily, consumes, observes everything what happens in the country, around the country, and around his security. And that's why he built this very Soviet-style, Gulag-style system of KGB, of repression, where people are put in prison just for a tweet or for being subscribed to Telegram channel, oppositional Telegram channel, not to mention to produce a movie, not to mention to run for office, not to mention to run the protest. So this is definitely a threat to dictatorship. This is definitely, and culture and movies has been always a way to fight dictators, evil, injustice, human rights, and rights of people. And I believe this is a very crucial and very instrumental tool in a war against dictatorship in Belarus.
Yeah, I'm personally Lithuanian, and I'm aware that self-proclaimed President Lukashenko, he also terrorized Lithuania, and we believe that Lukashenko and Putin, they will sit one day and will be tried for war crimes which they did. But let's leave now political things outside, because Minsk is outstanding also technically. It was shot in one take, and that's where Tallinn comes. Yeah, and was it your first choice to come to Tallinn to shoot Minsk?
Yeah, it was the first choice in so many ways because of a very welcoming support and very passionate engagement of, as I said, film industry of Estonia and the government agencies. Secondly, Tallinn in so many ways looks like Minsk, and it's very wonderful. It was a wonderful location to shoot. Certainly, it is quite difficult. It was quite difficult to find technical opportunities to shoot. So we had Kiev in consideration, in Ukraine, and then at the latest when Estonia wanted to support us financially and give us the opportunity to do it here, I mean, it was sort of also one of the reasons for us to be grateful for that and shoot it here as a sign of respect and cooperation.
And do you know what is a size of location where you staged all choreography of movements of main protagonist of Minsk?
I've been here. I was part of it. We all were located very, very close by the airport. I don't remember the name of the mall. There's a famous big mall, and right close to this mall, we were all headquartered in a hotel, and we shot this parts of a protest close by in the area at the school. And if I look at a map, I'll show you the address.
And do you remember how many takes you filmed
Yes,
of that
of course.
shot?
Well, to give our watchers and listeners a perspective, what is a one-take movie? It's like turning on the camera and playing in one play as if you're in theater without any breaks and without any shots, multiple shots or scenes. So in one take, and you end the movie with button off. So, which brings a lot of complexity with it, because everything has to run according to the plan, timing. One wrong move or the light on a crossing or a street will out of time. One wrong sentence or action of one people, of just one from even volunteers or a crew who played just the crowd, you're done. So it took almost 6 months of preparement, and I mean by that rehearsal and one again. It's like producing a theater play, so you have to rehearse and train a lot. Secondly, we did 7 shots, so basically we could have made 7 movies. And we decided at the end in the post-production about one particular take. It was the number 5th. So it was the 5th take that ended up being the final one, the one with less, I wouldn't say mistakes, but it was less, where we could agree upon the quality and dialogues and camera movements. And it was quite hard to film it, because one take takes a lot of, and particularly this is important for this movie, and this was a decision of Boris. It's very complicated to make a movie like that, but in order to get these feelings, how the story develops, like from a normal family, young people who are not even political, who are not really even involved in politics or in protest, like by going outside of an apartment, out of a normal life, getting speeded up to running away from police and ending up beaten up in a cell and so on. I don't want to spoiler the whole movie. So to give this range of emotions, to represent, to show the range of the speed, how I believe it's just amazing how to present. When you run away from police, you cannot do it in 5 or 10 takes. You know, you have to run. You have to feel this fear of being caught, and I believe one take movie gives this huge range of dynamic and emotion and brings with it, because it's been one person, a lady with a camera, ran after every person, so she basically witnessed everything her way and as if she were in the middle of a protest. So I believe this is important.
We don't have so many minutes as Minsk takes, but tell me briefly how many people participated in that shot number 5.
Shot number 5. Well, in total, there were a couple of hundreds. There were, of course, a couple of dozens close crew, and then there were a crowd. There were a lot of technical teams. So I believe it was quite big. And so you see it.
Did you had any counter on your DOP woman? How many kilometers she ran during this
It's
one
a
take?
good question. She will be tonight with me on the stage when we're gonna present the movie. Let's ask her. I don't have a number, but I believe I since this movie I started to respect the job of DOP, because to carry the whole way, to run and particularly one-shot movie, wow, impressive. So once you see it maybe like second, third time the movie, like I've seen it so many times, and pay attention not to the story itself, not to the play of actors, but to her job and to the job of optics and the optics crew, It's phenomenal how well they played and how well they casted. It's a masterpiece, I believe.
Yeah. Thank you, Vitali.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much
for
for
coming and
having me here.
Helping us to understand such grandiose filmmaking. I already heard a few days ago a recommendation from Hungarian director Adam. His film consists from long takes but with some breaks.
Yeah.
And he said to audience particularly, don't do it, never again. And do you think Boris will repeat it?
Yeah.
And you yourself,
yeah,
would you do it again?
Well, I don't know. I believe it's a stretch, and it's something that you should not do like multiple times in life or quite often. I believe you do something very experimental and unique once, and it should rest there. So I believe it should not be. And particularly this story has so much drama and so much action in it, so it's needed to be like this.
So Minsk is really spectacular film to witness, especially on big screen in cinema with sound and one take film. And then when you will discover Minsk, please don't forget to compare it with Latvian film Taste of Water, which will premiere a bit later in same competition, Baltic Film Competition at Black Nights Film Festival. Thank you for listening us today. But we have plenty of films left, so be with us.